Hey guys, come and have a seat. There we go. Okay, welcome back. Come on in, have a seat. Nope, we're not today. Yeah, it's our math time. So, let's go ahead. Come on in, have a seat. What? Nope. You can stay in your desk. You have room for your desk. Hey, very Hey. Okay. Let's take a look. You are going to need your brain books, your journals out. We're going to look at some division. You're also going to need your whiteboard. Marcus, final warning, and then it's a mark. Or sorry, Lucas, final warning. You talk again, it's a mark. Now, not right now. Nope. Today, we're going to be talking and reviewing multiplication and division being related and thinking of division as a missing factor. We have been doing this all year, so this is a good review. We're going to take some notes in our journal, and hopefully we will have time to begin looking at page 133 in our workbook. We're not going to tear that out. So this is something we're going to keep in there because we're not going to do it all today, but we may get started. So let's go ahead and open up our journal. I'm going to pull up the whiteboard. I don't know why this thing is doing that. It is not coming up at the bottom. Okay. So if I do that, let me come over here. So this is not working the way I want it to. Okay. So let's pull up our journals from yesterday. So you guys took some notes, and I want to go back over that. So you started with division, and we looked at division as parts, and we talked about partial quotients, and that means it is part of the answer to a division problem. Who is talking? No. Okay, so we need to stop it. Whoever's doing it, mumbling, talking, stop. Okay, so partial quotients. Okay, that means that as you get part of the quotient, you have to add it up. Then you guys looked at some different ways that you can see division. You can see it so that it looks like the box, like we have been practicing. We also it can look like this, where the quotient is on top and we stack it up. And it can also look like this, where it has this symbol. That symbol means divided. Now on each one, okay, Rosalind, that's an OT. I don't know what's in your desk. I hope it's not the thing I told you to put in your locker, because your hands are in there messing around. Put it up. I want your stuff up. Now, we are looking at today, okay, and practicing some of the ways that this is going to be looking. You also yesterday talked about some friendly numbers. And I know that some of us, our friendly numbers are not exactly the same as other people's friendly numbers. So that is where, again, if you can skip count by 500s, that's going to make it that much easier. Okay, if you can count by 50s and 25s, those are going to be easier to do. So when we have more friendly numbers, you've got more options to have to get to that answer quicker. Remember, when we divide, we want to get the biggest possible one, so we have the least number of steps. Okay, then we looked at, yesterday you looked at this number. Okay, you have 5 kids and you have 476 pieces of candy. If you have 476 pieces of candy and you share it with 5 friends, the answer is how much candy each friend will have, each kid will have. So in this case, when you finished, you should have had, each child is going to have 95 pieces of candy, and there's going to be one that's left over. Now, guys, you're going to be having some questions where it says, how many do they have left over? Leftover would be your remainder. That's what's left after you divide it up. That's extra. That would be an extra that's not. Because remember, when we divide it up, each person's going to get the same amount. So if you take 95 and you multiply 95 times 5, you would actually get 475. And then you would add the one that's left over, and that would get you 476. Then you did one that was a practice where you divided 128. You've got 128 pieces of candy, and you're going to share it equally among 3 people. And when you divided 128 pieces of candy by 3 people, each child's going to get 42 pieces of candy. How many are left over? 2 are left over. 2 are extra. So we are going to continue our notes. I just wanted to go over what you covered yesterday because, guys, this is something new that you are learning how to do. Mateo, I need that put away for now. Okay, so this is something new that we're learning how to do. Now I'm going to show you, okay, the one that looks like this, where we are going to stack up some numbers, because this is one that you may see on your 10 ready. So we've done it this way with the partial quotients. Now, when we do it the other way, we're going to actually be doing it the same way. I am going to do again a 3-digit number. So we're going to do another one. It's going to look like this. Let's do 467 divided by, let's divide it by 4. Okay, so we're going to look at this. Let's go ahead and write this down in our journals, in our brain books. Make sure you leave room up here because we're going to do some stacking. So you want at least 3 or 4 lines. So if you have to erase it and put it down, I should have put it down a couple more lines, but that's okay. I'll write small. So the first thing that we look at whenever we are looking at this is we have to say, okay, can we count by 100 to get an answer? Okay, so what is 100 times 4? 400. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 100 here. And we're going to do it the same way that we did this one, except we're just going to stack them on top. Instead of spreading it out, they're going to be stacked up. So what is 100 times 4? 400. So I'm going to write my 400. I'm going to actually color code this with my red pen. So 100 times 4 is 400. So this is where I write my answer. And then I have to what? Subtract. Remember, division is repeated subtraction. You subtract, you subtract, you subtract, and subtract. So 100 times 4 is 400. I want you to go ahead and subtract that. Figure out what is this answer going to be down here. When you have the answer, stand up and go share with a friend. See if they agree with what you got. And then we're going to take it from there. So do your subtraction, go check with a friend, see if they agree with you, and then we're going to come back together. Okay, let's come back to our areas. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. When we subtract this, what do we have left over right now? So our new number that we're dividing is now 67. So now we're going to say, okay, let's go to 4. How many 4s can we put into 67? Let's do a friendly number.
10.
Let's do, okay, 10. What's 10 times 4? Okay, so I'm going to stack my 10 right up here. Now notice I am putting it right above the 100. I'm putting the 10 up here. Okay, so what is 10 times 4? So I'm going to put my 40 here. Okay, I should have done that in red. That's okay. 40. So this is my multiplying. This is what I multiplied. 10 times 4 is 40. Now I have to subtract. Go ahead and subtract that. Give you just a minute to do your math there. Okay, guys, I hear 4. Let's have a seat. 3, 2, and 1. I'm hearing people just shout out answers. I want you to discuss it. Have a conversation. Don't just sit there and shout out answers. Okay, so 7 minus 0 equals what? 7. What's 6 tens minus 4 tens? 2 tens. So we have 2 tens and 7 ones for an answer of 27. This is my new number that I'm looking at. So remember, we subtracted. Now I'm down to 27. I still have 4 friends that I have to divide this candy by. So what friendly number can I put in, or a basic fact that I can put in that will equal close to 27? Okay, so let's do 5. So I'm going to put my 5 up here. What is 5 times 4? 20. We know that. That's a basic fact. So I'm going to put my 20. Now I have to subtract. What's left? Don't get up yet. What's left? 7. Now wait a minute. Is 7 smaller than 4?
No.
It's not. So we have to think, okay, how many times will 4 go into 7? One time. So I'm going to put a 1 up here. Sorry, I didn't give myself enough room. 1. What is 1 times 4?
4.
I'm going to put my 4 down here because 1 times 4 is 4. And then I have to subtract. What is 7 take away 4?
3.
Is 3 smaller than 4?
Yes.
So I'm going to circle this because that is what?
Remainder.
That's a remainder. That's what's left over. Now, what do I have to do with all of these numbers up here?
Add them up.
We have to add these up. So I've got 100 plus 10. How much would that be? 110 plus 5 more. 115 plus 1 more would be
116.
116
Remainder of 3.
with a remainder of 3. Do not forget that remainder, the leftover. So this is another way that you could see a division problem. It could be stacked on the top using friendly numbers. Okay, I like using friendly numbers. It may take us a few extra steps, but if we know our friendly numbers and we subtract correctly, we will get the correct answer. Okay, so I wanted us to look at that one. Now we're going to look at what we call the big 7. This is another strategy. Now I have to go to another page. My page is full. So I'm going to another page. I'm just going to get right over here. I am going to write division at the top so I know I'm still on division. Okay. This one is called the big 7. because it actually looks like a big 7 when we are finished. So I am going to put another problem on here. I'm going to do different than what I've got on my in my notes. So I'm going to do 162 divided by 5. Okay, what is this called in a division problem? What's this big number called? No, it's not. Look at your notes. Okay, dividend. Let's say it again. What is this? Dividend. The dividend is the largest number. Now we're dividing by 5. What is this number called?
Divisor.
Divisor. Divisor dividing. So that's your dividing. Okay, and what is our answer called? That's the quotient. Okay, the answer is the quotient. This is the divisor. And what is this one again? Dividend, dividend. Okay, good. I want to make sure we got that. We got to get that in our head. Now, I am now going to create this into the big 7. You may see it like this, and then you're going to have to make it into what I call the big 7, and you'll see what that looks like here in a minute. So I'm going to put 162, okay? Remember, our dividend goes inside the house. And I'm going to make it, looks like, see the big 7 I drew? Looks like a big 7. And I'm going to put my 5 out here. Now, guys, this is like we are missing a factor. 5 times something is going to equal 162. So now we're going to have to use some friendly numbers. I always like to start with 100. Can I put 100? Okay. Oh, and I usually put my times here. 5 times something. So why can I not put 100? Oh, 100 times 5 is 500. So that's way too big. So let's look and see. Okay. So we can't do that. Can we do 50? That would be 250, right? 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Okay, so 50 won't work. Can we do 25? Okay, well, let's count it and see. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So will 25 work?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put 25 out here. I know that 25 will work. We just counted it. What is 25 times 5? So I'm going to put 125. We're going to put our answer inside the box. And then we have to subtract. Okay, if I have 2 pieces of candy, can I give my friend 5?
No.
No. So what do I have to do?
Go next door.
Go to the 10. So instead of 6 tens, I'm going to have 5 tens. So I'm going to change that to a 5. And instead of 2 ones, I'm going to have 12 ones. Now can I subtract?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Okay, let me get a little card here. I always like to cover up, except what I'm working on. So 12 minus 5. I don't have 12 fingers, so what do I need to do? Count up, put 5 in our head and count up to 12. So let's put 5 in our head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many is that? Oh, so I know that 12 minus 5 is 7. How many pieces of candy do I have? You have 5 pieces of candy. You give your friend 2. How many do you have left? You have 3 left. Okay, you have 100 pieces of candy. You give your friend 100. What do you have left?
0.
Nothing. So what's my new number? 37. So now I'm going to think 5 times something is going to get me close to 37. Talk with a neighbor. 5 times what is going to get me close to 37?
It's not a family number. It's 5.
Okay, so I'm hearing some discussion. Show me with your finger, what friendly number can we do if we're counting by fives? Okay, so let's count by fives. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. No, wait, can I go to 40? No, so I can't go 8. So I have to go 7. So I'm going to put a 7. Now watch where I put it. I'm not putting it up here. I'm working here. So that 7 is going to go right down here where this number is. What is 7 times 5? Remember, we have to go over the wall. This is like a wall. So we go over the wall. 7 times 5 is 35. So I'm going to put my 35 in here. And I have to subtract. What is, you have 7 pieces of candy. If you give your friend 5, what do you have left? 2. You have 3 pieces of candy. If you give your friend 3, what do you have left? 0. Okay, so now the question comes, is 2 smaller than 5?
Yes.
If this number is smaller than what you're dividing, you're finished. That's when you circle it. You cannot circle it till it's smaller than what you're dividing by. Now, what do I have to do to these numbers? We're going to put a line here and we're going to put a plus sign. And I want you to add up 25 plus 7 and get that answer. Okay, once you are done, here's what I want you to do. Without talking, take your notebook. I want you to show your answer to your friend, and they're going to give you a thumbs up if it's right or a thumbs down if they disagree. So go share real quick.
Forget the remainder.
Okay, well, let's give them time. Have a seat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, what is 25 plus 7? 32. Am I done? What do we have to put?
32
Remainder of 2. Do not forget that remainder. That will mess you up. So I have 162 pieces of candy. I am going to share that with 5 friends. How many will each friend get?
32.
Each friend will receive 32 pieces of candy, and there will be 2 that were left over. 2 pieces that you could not share because we share evenly. When you share, everyone gets the same. Okay. So remainder 2 is what is left over. Okay, you have 2 pieces that no one's going to get. Everybody will get 32 pieces, all 5 friends, and there will be 2 pieces that would be left over. Okay, so I want us to look now, and then we're going to do a little bit of practice with this. So I'm going to pull back up this, and I want us to look at the problem, maybe. Okay, so let's look at this. And this is going to be, actually, we're going to do this in our journal. Okay. I want us to do this one in our journal also, because it's going to be important that we understand what we're talking about here. So we're going to actually put a little picture in here to help us understand when we talk about area and what area means. So we have a garden that is 259 square feet. So when we talk about area, it's always in square feet. And the width is 7 feet. Nope, not yet. I'm gonna go back to my whiteboard. I want us to practice this one and then we're gonna look at something else real quick. Okay, so let me minimize this. Okay, so let's come back here and I am going to draw myself a rug. Okay, so here's my rug. Okay, and the rug is 259 square feet. So this is the rug. So when I'm talking about square feet, that means the inside of this is 259. The width is 7 feet. So that's the width. So the question is, then what is the length? So when we look at this, this is just like multiplication or division. So when we're looking at the area of something, it's this times this to get this answer. Oh, but wait a minute, we're missing one of the factors. Okay, so we cannot multiply this because we're missing something here. So 7 times some other number is going to equal 259. So we know that in our fact family, multiplication is related to division. So when we're missing a piece, we need to create a division problem. So over here, I am going to do the big 7. So 259 divided by what's given? 7. So I'm going to put my 7 here. Okay. So I'm going to have to think. Now, again, I'm going to show it to you this way. And I think I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to stack it down here as well. So 259. That way you can see it both ways. Okay. So big 7. I'm going to put them times here. Can we start with 100?
No.
Why not? Oh, because that would be 700, right? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, way too much. Okay, so I like to look also, I see 25 here. So I think, okay, 7 times what is close to 25? 3? What is 3 times 7? 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm going to put my 3 here and I'm going to put my 0 because we know that there's another number. So I'm going to put 30. So again, when I'm looking at this, what is 3 times 7? 21. And I've got my 0. So I have to slap that 0 on just like I do when I multiply. And now what do I have to do? What do I have to do? I have to subtract. So go ahead and do your subtraction. And while you're doing that, I'm going to slap 30 on this one. We are figuring out this other side of the rug. So in order to do that, we have to divide the area by what's given. So go ahead and do your math. Okay, Miss Patterson, I'm going to come over to you. I want to see what answer they got when they subtracted.
All right, Brainiacs. I see 49. And the way I did that is I did 9 minus 0 is 9. And I thought 25 minus 21. 25 tens minus 21 tens is 4 tens. That's kind of how I thought about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, are we all done? No. What number do we have now to look at? We have 49. 49 is a lot bigger than 7. So we have to think 7 times what is 49? So if you know your sevens, that one is gonna be a basic fact. So I've got friends saying what? 7. What is 7 times 7? Ah, so when we subtract 49 from 49, what do we get? 0. There's nothing left when I subtract that. And now I'm done, right? No, I'm still not done. What do I have to do next, William? What do I have to do?
You have to add the 30 into 7.
Yeah, guys, these are partial quotients. This is part of the answer. So we have to add this up. So what is 30 plus 7?
37.
Ah, 37. And again, when I come over here and I stack it up this way, I have to add these up. So 30 plus 7 is 37. So what is my answer? What is the length of my rug? 37 what? 37 feet. So when we multiply 37 feet times 7 feet, we get 259 square feet. So when you are looking at the area and you're missing one of the parts, think of it as a partial product or a partial quotient. In this case, when you're missing a factor, you have to divide it to find that answer. Okay. Are we feeling okay with this so far? Okay, I'm gonna bump it up. So I don't want you to get real stressed out about it, but we're gonna bump it up to one more digit. We have 3. We're gonna bump it up to 4. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that in our workbook. So pull your workbook out. We're gonna look at our workbook and then we will practice some of this. On our whiteboards, yes, if we have time. We have 2 problems that we're gonna work out today in our workbook, only 2. And it's gonna look very overwhelming when you see it. So we're on page 133. 133 is where we're at. Oh, that's dark, sorry. 133. Do not tear it out, leave it in. Do not tear it out. Do not tear it out because that way we can keep it in. Just leave it open. Okay, I'm gonna give you just a moment.
131.
Okay. Don't tear it out. Just open up to 133. Excuse me, Sebastian. 133. Now, while you're waiting, okay, and while you're getting there, I'm going to look at the example at the top, okay, because you are going to have to look at things like this to get you ready for what you need to do. It says a group of hikers plan to take 8 hours to hike up a mountain trail that's 5,380 meters long. Lucas, get your stuff, come right here. Right here. If they hike the same distance each hour, how many meters should they hike in an hour? So they have 8 hours. They have to hike this many meters. So they have to divide that so that they know, oh, this is how much I have to hike every hour in order to get up the mountain. So we have to divide that out. Now, if you look here, they did their division right here. 5,380 divided by the 8 hours. You can think of it as 5,380 pieces of candy divided by 8 friends. And they started with the friendly number of 600 because they said, oh, 6 times 8 is 4,800. And then you subtract and you got 580 left. And then 70 times 8 is 56 tens. So 560. And when you subtract that, you got 20. And then 8 times 2 is 16. And that leaves 4. So your answer would be, if you add all of this up, would be 672 with 4 remaining. So the hikers need to do at least 672 meters an hour in order to get up that mountain. So what they did was they used the stacking method like we did, and that's what we're going to be looking at down here. So notice on here, okay, I'm going to cover everything up but this problem right here. Here's our problem, 8,236 divided by 5. So we are using friendly numbers. What can we put here that we can multiply? I always like to put my times here because I know we're going to multiply whatever these numbers are times 5 to get to 8. So what are we going to put here?
2,
Well, what is 5 times 2?
10.
That would be 10,000. So what is, okay, so I heard 1. So what would this number be if we put a 1 here? What number would this be? 1,000. What's 1,000 times 5? 5,000. Would that work? Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna just cover all this up because we're gonna work on this just one little step at a time. So that's what they're looking at, is they're saying, okay, so we know it's gonna be something in the thousands. There's 3 zeros there. So what 1,000 times 5 is gonna get us close? Well, we just said 1,000, so I'm gonna put a 1 here. So what is 1,000 times 5? So I'm gonna carefully come down here. So 1,000 times 5 is what? 5,000. I'm gonna put the 5 in there because 1,000 times 5 is 5,000. Okay, now we need to what? Subtract. So when we subtract that, what do we get? Look at the problem because they're doing it for you. What's our answer? 3,236. This is our new number. So now I'm going to move up. Oh, so this one's in the hundreds. Notice there's 2 zeros. So what times 5 is going to get us close to 32? Let's count by 5s. 5 times what gets us close to 32? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Oh, wait a minute. 35's too much. So how many? 6. Okay, so I'm going to put a 6 here. 6. So what is 600 times 5? 3,000, right? 600 times 5 would be 3,000. I'm going to write my 3 there. Now we have to subtract. I think they did that for you too, didn't they? And what do you have left? 236. Oh, so now we are counting by tens. So 10 times 5 would be 50. Oh, that's going to be bigger than that. So let's count by 5s. How close can we get to 23? I'm looking at 23. Let's count by 5s. 5 times what gets us close to 23? Well, let's count and see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, wait a minute. 25, but we only have 23. So it can't be 5 tens. It has to be 4 tens. It's going to be 4 tens. 4 tens is what? What's 4 tens? 40. So what is 4 tens times 5 ones? 20 tens, which would be 200. Now we have to subtract, and what do we get? 36. So now we're at the top. 5 times what gets me close to 36? Well, let's count by 5. How close can we get? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Oh, 40 is too many. So it's not 8, it's gonna be 7. So I'm gonna put my 7 up here. What is 7 times 5? 7 times 5 is 35. And when I subtract, I get 1. I'm circling that. Why am I circling that? It's a remainder. So now what do I need to do with all these numbers up above this? So I need to add all these numbers up. So what's 1,000 plus 600?
1,600.
1,600 plus 40
1,640.
plus 7.
7.
1,647, and I'm done, right? No, what's wrong? Remainder of 1. Now I'm done. Now I'm done. Do you see how they stack that? Now, guys, I know this looks so confusing and overwhelming when you first see it, but you have to cover it up and do one little step at a time. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Now, notice, they help you here. What did they give us? We're subtracting 4,000. So what has to go in this first one then? How do we know it has to be 1,000? Because remember, we have to multiply, right? 4 times something has to get us 4,000. So we're going to put 1,000 here because 1,000 times 4 is 4,000, right? So now we have to do what? What do we have to do? Subtract. Mateo. And when we subtract, what do we get? 507. They gave you the answer too. 507. So now we have to think, okay, oh, we're in the hundreds. 4 times what is going to get us close to 507? So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. What do we need? So what's 100 times 4? What's 200 times 4? Oh, wait a minute. I can't do 800, can I? Because it's too much. So what does this need to be? 100. Okay, 100 up here because 100 times 4 equals what?
400.
So I need to put that down here. 400. 100 times 4 is 400. Now we have to subtract. So go ahead and subtract because they don't, now they got it all messed up. So you gotta come up with the answer now. So what is 507 minus 400? What do you mean? Okay, I need you to be doing your work. So do your subtraction and get this answer. When you get this answer, go share it with a friend, see if they agree. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. Okay, let's gather back together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You should have had what for your answer?
107.
107. If you have 107 for your answer, clap 3 times. Okay, so you did your subtraction correct. 507 minus 400 is 107. Okay, so now, I am to 2-digit numbers. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So how close to 107 can we get? 4 times what? So 20, let's see, what's 20 times 4? 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay, well, what about 30? 30, 2 30s would be 60, 3 30s would be 90, 4 30s would be 112. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? We only have 107. So it looks like 20 is going to be my number that I'm going to put up here. What is 20 times 4?
80.
Oh, let's count it together. 20, 40, 60, 80. So I'm going to write 80 down here. Now, what do I have to do? You have to subtract that. So subtract 107 minus 80. I'm going to show you a little trick with that too. What's 7 minus 0? 7. Now, notice it's 0 minus 8. Do you see that there's only 1 here? Instead of crossing it up and borrowing, just go to 10. What's 10? Take away 8. 2. So if there's a 1 here, just put it together. 10 minus 8 is 2. So what's my new number I'm looking at? 27. So 4 times what's going to get me close to 27? Oh, I heard 6 immediately. Those of us that know our 4s, okay. So if I do 6, what is 6 times 4? 24. And if we subtract 24 from 27, what do we have left?
3.
And I'm done.
No.
I'm not done yet, am I? What do I have to do? I have to add the top. I like to circle that so I know, oh, I got to add all of these. I put a plus sign. We have to add these together. What's 1,000 plus 100? 1,100 plus 20. 1,120 plus 6. 1,126. Don't forget that remainder. So if I had 4,507 pieces of candy and I share it equally with 4 friends, each friend would receive 1,126 pieces of candy with 3 that are left over, 3 that are remaining, because each friend needs the same amount. When you share, you have the same amount. Now, we're going to close this up and we're going to pull our whiteboards out. We have a few minutes and I want us to work on some other problems on our whiteboards. Okay. I don't think that requires talking. So whiteboards out. Time to do some independent practice. Now, we have looked at several different strategies for division. Okay, we have done the box where we subtract it. We have done the big 7. We have done where we stack it on top. I want you to think, which one are you the most comfortable with? Because you don't have to use them all. I want you to choose one that you're most comfortable with. That's the one I want you to work with. I'm going to show it all 3 ways, but you're choosing one. So get your whiteboard. Okay, and I'm going to give you a problem. We're going to start off easy and then I'm going to bump it up. There's your first problem. Who is making that noise? Stop. Choose a strategy. Once you have that strategy, work out the math problem. If you need your notes, use your notes. Once you're done, I'm going to have you explain to someone else what strategy did you use, what answer did you get, and see if that matches your friends. And then we're going to come back together and talk about it. Let's connect to our area 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we had great conversations over here. I heard people were not agreeing with other people with the answers. So we're going to look at this. Now, I ask you to choose a way. Okay, so I had several different ways that people chose to do their math, which is great. That's what we need. Where's my eraser? Okay, so I'm going to show it 3 different ways. Okay, the first way is going to be the stack way, the way that our workbook had it. 349 divided by 3. I always like to put my times here so that I know. What's the biggest number I can do? The biggest friendly number?
100.
100. Okay, what is 100 times 3? And when I subtract, I get 49. Okay, so then what number can I put next?
30.
30 times 3 is 90, so that's way too high.
45. I mean, not 45. 15. 10. 15.
Let's do a friendly number. Let's do 10. What is 10 times 3? 30. Listen. What is 9 minus 0?
0. 9.
What is 9 minus 0? 9.
Oh.
You're thinking multiplying. What is 4 take away 3?
1.
So I have 19 left. Okay, so what friendly number can I use to get close to 19?
15.
15 would be 45. What times 3 is going to get me close to 19? 5. Remember, you have to multiply this. So 5 times 3 is what? Hello, 15. And when I subtract, I get 4. Am I done? No, because 4 is bigger than 3. So what number can I put to get me close to that? 1. What's 1 times 3?
1. Maybe 3.
3. And when I subtract, I get 1. And that's smaller. Now, what do I have to do to these numbers? What's 100 plus 10? 110 plus 5. And 115 plus 1?
116.
116 with the remainder of 1. Now, let's look at it the other ways before we go to lunch. Here's the big 7. Again, I do it at the side. Same thing. Instead of doing 5 and 1, I did 6 because I know that 6 times 3 is 18. Basic fact. You could have also done it the way you practiced yesterday, where you do the numbers on top. You add it just like we did yesterday. If you got this correct, put your hands on your head. How many of you, the strategy you use is like, yep, nope, I got that. I got the right answer. Awesome. Guys, I'm so proud of you. 2 days of working on division and you guys have started rocking it out. Great job. It is time for lunch. So we will see you after lunch.